this woman I worked with informally through emails about some stuff I did at the high school I was a vice principal at. But she basically, she was like a real person because she used to teach science in middle school. As most neuroscientists don't start that way. And she goes into neuroscience and tries the most outlandish thing possible, is seeing what a brain does when it's inspired, okay? And so this is a cross-section of a college student's brain when it heard this story, okay? The story is of a Chinese mother and her son. He's 5 years old. They live in extreme poverty near Beijing. They're walking through the street one day, and it's snow-covered ground, and they happen to see a shiny object. It's a coin, and the mother buys 3 buns. The boy eats 2 of them and hands the other one to Mom. Hey, Mom, eat this. You're hungry too. She says, no, I already ate. She lied, and makes him eat it. And that's the end of that little part of the story. His father had been passed away at the time too, but between age 5 and going to college at Beijing University, his mother died too. So he goes with the intention, he's going to try to help people in poverty, right? He goes into his first class, and he's not too sure about it. He's listening to these videotapes that the teacher had done interviews with people of poverty around the Beijing area. And the last video, guess what it is? It's a video of his mother telling the story of the buns and finding the coin. And he sees this video, and he sees his mom says, I lied to him so he would have the bun. And he just burst into tears, and it redoubled his effort. He says, that was the moment I knew I was going to get a PhD, and I knew I was going to change the world. So currently he is in Beijing helping people of poverty, okay? So hearing that story, and if any of you got like even slightly goosebumpy, this is what's going on in your head. This right here is actually the goosebumpies right here. This part, it's sensations on the surface. This part is going, I want to do that. I want to be great like that. I want to be like my mother. What Mary Helen found out that's amazing though, this part of the brain is called the brain stem. Any damage to it, you're dead. I mean, you could remove this part of your brain, you can still live. But this part regulates heart rate, breathing, and blood pressure. What was amazing is that it actually enhanced the brain stem. It made the people more physically survivable during the state of inspiration. And long-term inspiration does the same. It makes you want to breathe longer. Your heart rate's better, your respiration's better, and it's because you've heard something or believed something that's inspiring that makes you want to go out and do it, okay? Now, this is Mary Helen. She's going to do a little talk. It's short. She's looking up at a screen you can't see because of the camera. She's looking at a photograph of her friend, looking at a newborn child, and the baby is smiling and she's smiling. And it's a really darling, kind of really cute picture. And most people see it, they go, oh, okay? Listen to what she says about empathy.
Okay, so I put up that picture. Some friends of mine, this isn't my family, this is a family we're friends with. And I always wait for a minute and you hear the little, right? What is that? That is, you know, from a neurobiological perspective, that is you changing the physiology of your respiratory system in response to a picture, okay? That is you using your own physiology and adapting your physiology as a platform on which to understand the emotional content and the meaning of the social interactions happening in this picture. Okay? Now, I'm not suggesting that you did that automatically without using your brain, right? It's not you're using your body, but your brain is looking out there. You are looking out there. You appraise what's in that picture. You take in what's in that picture, and then you use all your memories of experiences that you've had that are close enough to this kind of thing that you can imagine what this is like for these people, and then you use your own body as a platform on which to kind of test out how that would feel. And along the way, sometimes a little bit leaks out in the form of like, right? Okay, so you're using your body as a way to understand the meaning in this picture. Okay, that's my first point. We're all doing that all the time. When your students come into your classrooms and they're learning from you, when you're connecting with them, when you're teaching them and they're teaching you, You're doing this all the time. You're exchanging and you're understanding each other by reading off each other's minds and bodies as you experience them in your body, based in your experience. And you use that as a platform on which to learn or to get inside the other person's mind. The most effective teachers are the ones who are the most empathic with their students. This is a new study that came out with some other colleagues of mine at Rossier School at the University of Southern California. They looked in some of the lowest performing Los Angeles public high schools, and they wanted to understand why some teachers, all the teachers are getting a random mix of kids in their classes. All the kids are from traditionally poor, low performing academically, low performing populations, and yet some teachers' classes do unexpectedly well. What's different about those teachers? Well, it's not, and I want to make clear, it's not that these teachers were necessarily more sort of touchy-feely or emotional with their students in the kind of outward sense. Some of them are, but some of them that's not their style. Some of them just aren't that way. But these were the teachers who were the most empathically attuned with their students. These are the teachers who were most accurate when they asked them in an interview. When I asked Jose how he was feeling yesterday in class, what do you think he said? And the teachers who were most accurate at knowing what their students were probably saying, those were the teachers whose kids were doing better, right? Why? Because as a teacher, your job is to vicariously imagine what's going on inside the mind of your students, to know your students well enough that you can actually get inside there and be them a little bit as a way to try to understand and change your own teaching to suit that, so that you can take that kid and lead them with you. Say, listen, I want to align myself with you. I'm the skilled one in this interaction, and I'm going to align myself with where you are, and I'm going to take you with me. And that is the job of a teacher or a parent. Okay, that's basically what you're doing.
Every kid comes in your class with a varied level of readiness or awareness of skill level. They all come with different skill levels. The hardest thing about teaching is you have a kind of like a canned lesson plan. And if you teach that canned lesson plan, well, maybe these 5 kids get it and these 6 don't. You go, that's the way it is, I'm sorry. The new effort is not only to have that canned lesson plan, but learn how to adapt it so it challenges every kid. So if this kid isn't getting part of it, you give him some kind of tool or scaffold so he can access it. And one of the elements is having empathy. Is when you look at a kid who looks really depressed and you go, hey, what's going on? Let's go outside, I want to chat with you for a moment. What's going on? I'm not feeling too good. My mom yelled at me today or whatever. And I go, well, you know what? I want you to do well today. I want you to be proud of yourself, and I'm sorry you're going through this. They come back in the classroom, they actually want to learn from you because you took the time to regard them as a human being. And so even though they have some stress in their life, you've just kind of invited them back into learning by saying, you matter and I care about you and I want you to learn. So that ability to see, and that's what Mary Helen said, the people who had the empathy could tell. They adjust the lesson plan based on that kid's mood so that they can actually get them engaged. It's really complicated. It's really hard to do that as a new teacher. I get that. And you have to keep making that effort to figure out how to do that to learn it, because they don't really teach that in college or preparatory programs for teaching.